This shows you how miracles are only 5% of the picture. But what happened in Mount Sinai? Here we see Mount Sinai. The Jews heard God, and they saw God and everything, and they were sinned with the golden calf. God told them face to face, don't worship idols. And after 40 days, they worshiped idols. This is why? Because Moses wasn't there. If Moses would have been there, they wouldn't have worshipped the golden idols. Well, I have a story to show you that even if Moses was there, it still could be they worshipped the idols. Once there was in the time of the Baal Shem Tov, there was a great Talmudic scholar. He had pupils, he was well known. And he, at least in his area, and everything was just wonderful. He had wonderful children, and his sons were all scholars and everything. But his daughter, he had a daughter that went insane. And she found herself a place in the corner behind the oven. And she just sat there. She would just sit in this corner in the summertime. In the wintertime, they had to move the oven a little bit away so it wouldn't be too hot for her. And they also had to make the oven that wouldn't be hot. Maybe they even built another oven somewhere. But in any case, that's where she sat. And it was only with great difficulty could they feed her. And she wouldn't come out to wash. And she couldn't speak. She wouldn't speak. Just once in a while, she would just grunt or something like that. So the father didn't know what to do. To put her into an institution would have been just, murder. It just shouldn't. They would mistreat her, and who knows what would be. So he was stuck with this girl. Once in a while, she would give out a loud moan or a groan or something. So he really couldn't invite people to his house. And this went on for, since she had been, old enough that they thought she might be able to talk. So now she was like 15 years old, 16 years old, whatever it is, and she's still sitting and grunting. They had doctors come to see her and miracle workers, nothing helped. And so someone suggested, hey, why don't you take her? It happened to be that someone passed through the town. Take her to the Baal Shem Tov. Well, this rabbi happened to be what they call a misnagid. He heard just the name Baal Shem Tov and his whole body just shuddered with disgust. Judaism is supposed to be a serious business. You sit down and learn. You understand. If you understand, then you get it. You don't understand, maybe you can serve the people who learn the Torah. But what's this Baal Shem Tov? Because he cures everyone, and I hear you saying every Jew is holy, and even the greatest Jews have to do tshuva. They have to be happy, and the main thing now is prayer and charity and brotherly love and stuff like that. Come on, And the idea is just, it was against his whole being. It just, everything that he lived for, he stood for, was just, learning Torah, and you have to be serious, and you have to understand, and you have to explain, and to show people how smart you are and that you can explain. And that's the greatest thing, that people will come to you and they'll understand the Torah. But what can you do? His wife wasn't as opposed to the Chassidim as he was. And she kept nagging him. And Hashem made it that since Adam and Chava, wives have the ability to make their husbands crazy. They can do whatever the wife wants. That's what the husband will do eventually. So she starts nagging him and nagging him. Go to the Baal Shem Tov. Go to the Baal Shem Tov. It's our only hope. Why don't you do it? Just because you're stubborn. Just because you're this. Our daughter is suffering. Everyone's suffering. We can't. How long is it going to be like this? She's going to get older and great. What are we going to do? So finally, he has no arguments against her. And he says, okay. So he gets a couple of people, and he wraps her in a blanket, and he brings her to his wagon, and they sit her down in the wagon, inside of the wagon. She's wrapped in this blanket, and once in a while she lets out a groan, a moan, or something. And he drives himself, drives down to Mezibuz, where the Baal Shem Tov is, and he parks his wagon in front, and he parks him where it's down to the Baal Shem Tov's room, or his whatever it is, his synagogue, whatever. It's like sort of on the second floor. It's sort of elevated. And he goes out, and his daughter doesn't move. She's just immobile. She hasn't moved for since she crawled into that corner and didn't move. So he has no worries about her. So he leaves her in the wagon, ties the horse up. He takes a bag of gold coins. He had money. He was a rich person. He took money, bag of gold coins. He runs around, and there's a person standing in front of the Baal Shem Tov's door. He asks, "Can I come and see the Baal Shem Tov?" And he says, "Just one moment." Goes in, comes out. He says, "Yes, you can go in." He goes into the Baal Shem Tov, and there's the Baal Shem Tov sitting in his chair in front of a desk. There's a window in back of him, the window to the street. And he can even look through this window to see his carriage once in a while that it's okay. He goes to the Baal Shem Tov, he takes out this bag of money, and he puts it on undoes the string, says, "Okay, here's your money. Okay, let's see you do your miracles." He's sure that it's not going to work. He's 100% sure that the whole thing is just a big fake and that the Baal Shem Tov just wants money, and that's it. But at least he figures he's got enough troubles from his daughter. At least his wife will leave him alone. He'll say, "Listen, I was by your holy man. Okay, the whole thing's a charlatan. He took my money and nothing works. So let's just accept the situation with our daughter. They've got no choice." That's what he wanted. So the Baal Shem Tov looks at this bag of money, and he looks at him, and he takes the corners that he opened up, and he puts them all together. He lifts up the bag, and he turns around to the window, and he says to the man, turns back and looks at him, says, "I don't need your money. What do I need your money for?" And he throws it out the window. It's like $50,000. Throws it out the window. And the man is startled. Threw the money out the window. What it's going to be? Now I'm not going to get anything, right? He's mad. So he's standing there just shocked. The Baal Shem Tov threw the... said, "But my daughter. The Baal Shem Tov just doesn't say anything. All of a sudden he hears from outside, he hears his daughter's voice. "Daddy, Daddy, come outside. There's golden coins in the street. Daddy, Daddy." He runs to the window and he looks and he sees there's his daughter gathering up these golden coins and putting them back into this bag. "Daddy, Daddy," she sees him. "Come quick, look at this money in the street." Immediately he runs outside and he helps her pick up the money and puts it in the bag, and he jumps into the carriage and he says, "Let's get out of here as soon as possible. Let's get out of here quick. If we don't leave, the Baal Shem Tov is going to say that he did the miracle and he's going to want the money back." In other words, there's some people, even if they see God, they see Moshe Rabbeinu, they see open miracles, and that's why it's such an amazing, amazing miracle if a Jew does tshuva. It's against physical nature, it's against spiritual nature, it's even against Jewish nature. Let's do tshuva. Well, at 3 o'clock, God willing, we'll meet again. Have a good day, everyone.